Thank you. Hi, everyone. Really excited to be here with you on the MadFest stage. Before we get started, I'd like to show you the latest Dove campaign, and then we can start talking. Can we hear the sound? Yeah, perfect. Thank you, everyone. So what you've seen here is the 2024 Dove campaign, pushing again on stereotypical imagery of women, trying to widen the definition of beauty 20 years after Campaign for Real Beauty. So not only we had a lot of pressure on our shoulders, but it is actually what I would like to highlight before we go and start unpacking it, that being bold here is about, for Dove, being consistent and yet being relevant. So let's have a look together and start unpacking it. What we would say the challenge of the decade is for the marketeers. Of course we have AI, of course we have a few challenges ahead of us, but it's actually the challenge of differentiation. There is an erosion of differentiation. There is a sea of sameness, a lot of focus on lower funnel, but also hyper-fragmentation of our media advertising, and of course the rise of AI-powered assets. Marketeers, in our view, would need to spend way more time trying to differentiate their brand from the pack than worrying about the rest. On Dove, the way we do it, and I wanted to share this with you today, is very simple. We have 3 pillars. The number one, and we're going to unpack them, is the strategic clarity. The second one is the creative ambition. And the third, the people and the mindsets. And these have been really clear pillars that enabled us to stay consistent and be bold over the years. The strategic clarity, I'll start with that, starts with, there are 3 points, and I'm going to start with the first one, which is being single-minded in what we stand for, having a very sharp point of view about the world. The second element is the fact that out of that we have a simple center of gravity, which its expression sometimes can be 2 or 3 words, right? For us on Dove, it started with an insight, a startling truth back in 2004 that only 2% of women considered themselves beautiful. And because of that, and the focus we've put into that insight, our center of gravity was born, and it's called Real Beauty. And Real Beauty is about being authentic, showing women as they truly are, pushing back on some kind of insecure codes of beauty that women have been put through over the years. Showing them as they are, not as we want them to be. On the back of this, we built what we call the belief system. Our belief system is a set of values expressed in a very simple purpose that drives deep emotional connection with consumers. And that purpose for us is that beauty should be a source of happiness, never anxiety. And the way it expressed itself was by giving clear boundaries to the brand. Those boundaries, it started actually with our own advertising, showcasing only real women in opposition to models that we've been seeing in the beauty industry ever since. And never digitally distorting any of these women, never altering their body shapes, their size, their hair, never retouching it. Then what happened is that it moved to becoming a standard for representation in the beauty industry. And we know that the beauty industry has widened its definition of beauty to welcome more into its fold since Campaign for Real Beauty. And it created that standard that literally what happened in 2004 is that we turned the beauty industry on its head and created really a strong wake-up call. And what we did is that we continued consistently to deliver on our mission, on our ambition, with campaigns challenging the beauty stereotypes and challenging representation. We defined clear boundaries that enabled us to know when we have a voice and where we should not have a voice. One of the things that we've done is identifying the threats to real beauty, our center of gravity, since we launched it. And those threats were very clear. It started with media and advertising in 2004. Then it moved to social media. And we launched a few campaigns in this space, and we're still very much focusing on it because the problem is still out there. And now, AI. Not only this level of clarity when it comes to our consistent take on real beauty helped us stand out in the clutter, but it also enables us to navigate change. And one that I would like to stop and talk about a little bit, and I will show you actually the case, is that when you know what you stand for, it's very clear what you can do when a storm comes at you. During COVID, we celebrated the real beauty of our heroes. Let's watch very quickly the film.
The campaign is called Courage is Beautiful.
Dove is out with a powerful new ad that is shining the light on our healthcare heroes.
Hashtag Courage is Beautiful bubbled up when Dove Soap made it its tagline in a video that went viral.
And it shows nurses and doctors with marks on their faces, bruised from the protective gear.
And they all have something in common, a look of exhaustion, determination. These are the people fighting for you and me.
O contato que foi feito comigo, ele foi feito inicialmente pelo próprio Instagram, que é por onde eu fazia as publicações lá em março, abril.
Most of us at the hospital felt forgotten. After seeing other people in that campaign, it made me feel a sense of unity that other people were going through the exact same thing.
Billboards near hospitals worldwide thanked healthcare heroes at work.
I was like, wow, that's me, that's us.
When I saw myself in the campaign for the first time, I remember just tearing up and just feeling like really proud to be part of this global campaign.
Não imaginava também que a minha foto, inclusive, viria a ser a capa do The New York Times.
I understand there's a soap maker on the healthcare line.
Dove Self, yeah, it's amazing.
One last thing, I think it's
And so, we're seeing a great campaign right now from Dove, and I think that's been a really powerful way that they've been able to show how they're making a difference.
Kudos to Dove, whether they're talking about the shape of your body, the color of your skin, your age. They always do great, great work, and that's just another example of that.
It's probably one of the campaigns, Courage is Beautiful, that touched me the most in my career, because we were all together, going through COVID and not really knowing what brands should be doing, beyond the fact that personally it was very tough for all of us. And turning around this campaign in 6 days, just after a lockdown in the UK, was incredible. And actually, talking to the women and the men that were on the front line, seeing those ads as they were coming out, because the outdoor was only for them. They were coming out of the hospitals and seeing these ads, and they said how much it gave them actually courage to carry on and feel seen and feel recognized for the work they were doing. I was talking about the fact that not only it gives you clarity, the strategic clarity that we have on Dove enables us to stand out, but also to face the storms we've seen during COVID, but also a few years ago, the metaverse became really the talk of the town. And for us, it was very clear that the way we were going to do it was about gaming, where women were actually facing problems of representation and diversity. And we decided to launch this virtual Real Beauty program. So that was for the first one, the strategic clarity. The second one is the creative ambition. So we have seen clearly the value of creativity 20 years ago, and we kept on investing in it year after year. I can tell you there isn't a year in the past 10 years where we didn't invest in creativity. And it's not by chance that this brand impacted sometimes the life of people, because purpose has been an incredible fuel for creativity, and creativity has been an incredible fuel for purpose. Creativity has the power to build strong emotional connections with our consumers. It enables, as we've seen, brands to stand out, to drive difference and salience, and therefore purchase on the points of sale. And actually, creativity is clear ROI in the short term and in the long term, and that's what we've seen. Here, the code that you've seen early on when I started this presentation, what we're seeing here is the System 1 research, and it shows that after the launch of the code, that this campaign has exceptional potential in driving short-term sales. Yet, there isn't one single product in that ad. The third element, last but not least, and I want to spend a bit of time on it, is people and mindset. And before I deep dive into it a bit more and tell you what makes this team, because I think everything that you see today is coming from a team, and there is a reason why it's happening in year after year, I want to show you one other example of work, and it's the Turn Your Back campaign that we've launched last year, that won a Grand Prix in Cannes. Not that awards matter, but they are, a way to showcase really that the work works. And this year we came back with the Creative Effectiveness Award on this campaign. So let's have a look at it.
This is not what I look like right now. This filter should be illegal. Here's the real me.
A new beauty trend going viral on TikTok.
What's the filter called again?
Bold glamour. Bold glamour.
Bold glamour.
Bold glamour.
There's practically no way to tell that I've got a filter on. I can move about.
Unlike traditional beauty filters, every pixel on your face is regenerated.
The beautification filter can cause psychological distress.
And I worry about how this impacts young girls' confidence.
our backs against digital distortion. C'est vraiment important de s'assurer que your back
Ansiedade começa a aparência real.
Not just doing it for our family. We know as other families, we know as other kids out here that's watching, that's listening.
The hashtag Turn Your Back is all over TikTok right now.
I'm turning my back to digital distortion. Turn your back.
La espalda a turn our back.
I'm going to go one better than turning my back on this.
I think these filters are here to hurt us, and I think it's time we turn our back on them.
I don't like it either. You know why? Because it doesn't look like you. There we go.
Thank you. So a piece like this can only happen if you have the right mindset, because a trend has been captured in 72 hours from start to getting actually the creators to deliver content. And it was 3 people in the team. So there is Sarah Potter here, Lindsay Smith, and together we've launched this campaign, and it started out of like just seeing the bold glamour filter starting to roll onto TikTok, and creators, influencers, people that we work with, partners, talking about it and telling us, Dove, are you going to do something about this? And let's do it together. Actually, the way these things happen, not only it gives you a lot of adrenaline, and we obviously love it in the team, it comes from a strong passion for what the brand stands for its values. Passion, I find, after a few years of working on this brand, is a driver that makes the impossible finally possible. The second element is the agile mindset. Everything is possible, and it can happen and come from anywhere in the team. And that's the type of culture we've fostered. And what I find really interesting is that here you have a real match between trend mining and team culture. And that's how this becomes possible. The third element is the trust. And actually, when I talk about trust, not only trust in the team, but trust in our partners, in the creators, in the communities that we work with, in our agencies, and the trust between them. Because you have agencies like Ogilvy, Edelman, collectively, all coming together and working together in 72 hours. And this is only possible if we decide to really invest in relationships and feel all as part of one single team. And finally, I would say the leadership. Because you need the leadership, and a leadership culture that fosters really creativity, that protects great ideas. I think this is super important. We have a tendency to always think about, oh, I need to get great ideas, but actually as a leader you need to protect the great ideas. And in order to protect the team, in order to get it down the line, and sometimes in our very complex organizations, you know, where there are loads of processes, the only way this can happen is through the leadership. And actually what is really cool is this. It's the result. It works. It delivers growth consistently. And in the case of Dove, 20 years after Campaign for Real Beauty, we've been able to show that social impact and growth can live very well together in deep harmony. 20 years later, after Campaign for Real Beauty and launching the Dove Self-Esteem Project, wanting the next generation to grow up with a better self-esteem of themselves, we have educated more than 114 million young people around the world in more than 150 countries. We became the largest provider of self-esteem education with academically validated tools that work, are proven to work. Working with organizations like the Center for Appearance Research, the University of West of England, the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, UNICEF, etc., to name a few. But not only that, we tripled the business since 2004. And in 2023, we had our highest growth ever in the last decade. So I want to leave you with one question, because today it's a lot about boldness, right? Should it be bold? Should it be considered bold to deliver social impact whilst delivering growth? Thank you.